test, and then make it off, and this one also make it off, make it on. Test. Ah, now. Now I have to wash the window.
Nossa Senhora, Jesus amado, podia ter um grande.
Assim. E pelo visto foi 40 paus. Está desligado, Tuk?
Tá,
Olha aqui.
Jesus amado. Parece uma tela.
Boa da grande. Essa merda. E ontem foi quase. E ontem, como não está cá o coisa. Ih, eu esqueci mesmo. Ontem não estava cá e é assim. Deste autoclante.
Sim.
Deste autoclante. Tive que tirar. Aqueceu. Ele já não tem que aqueceu pelo interior. Ele entendeu. Agora eu dou para ali. Eu mando 50 para o 4. E isto aqui também.
Faz o tamanho da
Posso pedir um pingo de fita cola para colar ali os cintos de segurança que faço aqui?
which camera it is. The new one. Okay. New camera. Oh, I need. Let's go. Set around. Vai, então vamos lá, então. Vamos lá, então.
push your truck around to the side. If there's some standing there, a bicycle or a child, is the worst case. first came the other car, a bicycle, you see. But he makes the side. Don't care what's happening there. She looks, he wants to go. That's why he cannot count with her.
Você não está aqui de manhã?
Estou bem.
Não está aqui de manhã? Que essa matrícula não está aqui. Tá, você está aqui para de tarde, para de manhã não está.
De manhã e da tarde.
Às vezes o RP02 de manhã não está cá. Ou você vem para o lugar do outro agora de manhã.
Não estou certo.
Matando?
Já estou, já vejo isso. Um momento.
Encosta ali um bocadinho.
Sim.
Fica para não enxergar.
structure de 7RX52. Obrigado, senhor. Obrigado. Camera because I don't want that it is happen again. Let's just take a moment. First, so there we go. The Germans. Yeah, it's not easy to. So let's take the key and then I look to my colleagues.
Queres que eu meta?
Vês comigo à tarde.
Hã?
Bem, vês comigo à tarde, agora não escolhi. Agora ficou o Nuno, creio eu. Espera aí. Mas podes por aqui. Era o que faltava. Até porque vocês são pares.
Como é que é, Maria? Agora não é que
Olá, bom dia.
Está tudo bem, Maria?
So there we are. But even früher kann was nicht gehen.
I'll give you a push from the back.
Stop more, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, just reduce all the steps. Everything on that. So take the next step. So there we are.
Yeah, thank you. Whoops. Use my head next.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello ladies, where do you come from?
Just outside London, England.
Oh, England, great. London, no, London.
Not right in London, just outside of it. About 15 miles from London.
Okay, in the east.
West.
West.
Yeah. I'm in Hertfordshire.
So maybe there is a near our coastline.
You're near the coast of Essex. They've got them in Essex. She's in Essex, they've got beaches there. We're about 50 miles from the sea.
So, what I like very much to have with my English guests, because we have some things together. The most important is maybe the oldest alliance between Portugal and England, the Treaty of Lisbon. And there's a lot. Even when we built our nation and fighting against the war, the biggest amount of Brazilians will come out. That's why we call our pathway politics of the social. Then after George if I don't bore you, I want to show you a bit around. Yeah. So that was one of the first touch together one. And then we built our navy because the Nights have to flee all over Europe where they can come. They came to Portugal. And we have to follow the boat. But we make it different than the others. The others want to kill them, and we just close the convent of the Catholics, which is a convent of Christians. And they came to see people from there. They take even the sign the Catholics have the word of and then when they became the convent of Christians, they get them right to us. So, and right at attention. So they have to flee all over Europe. 1907. Back in 17, 10 years later, we found the summer. And that means that's the oldest navy in the sea. And one of the first things that this music learning is to protect the English against the British. So, and then the English help us a few times against the Castilians, which will later in Spanish, and then we make the treaty. So that is, and then I hope
Very interesting. It's twisted. It's everything twisted round.
guess we are four, so the same as Portugal. And we are also little groups of 3 or 4 trips because the place where we want to go, we want not to do too much. And that's why we split the whole group. And then I have a team leader, it's not me, and I have to go there what do you think, because we also look after the country. So
That gets very busy.
Lisbon is very busy, yes. And now this month we have the season of the key suns, and there's everywhere is some festival. And goes this street and this, then have the processions here, processions there, and sometimes they cause also some politicians, because capital cities are like always. I think this is just below you. I have also some problems right now.
Arthritis. Arthritis.
Yeah.
No fun game.
So, and then I will also mention how we get our become. You know that we are small nation. But back then, before we managed it somehow. So what I can say in advance is that we Portuguese changed the time age from the Middle Ages to Renaissance. Renaissance means the rebirth. What? Because the Romans used a lot of people and the Middle Ages were old. In the beginning of the Middle Ages, even the original nobles. That's why even the houses where we look also disappear. So there's no sign that light called dark. So then the Renaissance means rebirth, and the people began to remember what the Romans did and want to make it even a bit better. And that was the beginning here. And that's why we came here. And we were just the first.
It's amazing how things change in history. Nations get bigger.
Oh yes. Yeah, we could. For us, it was massive to have that area. Even the areas just were more or less just Europe, the monuments. But on the sea, it was also helpful to have an enemy less. I think maybe for both, because we have also support by our territories. Even the Second World War, we gave the South Island supporting. Yeah. So it was a good way. It is. Well, just very first. Yeah. So I have to say, my name is João. So you can call me João, because that's just the same. Too complicated, more than what is.
Remember John?
Yeah, John is great. I'm
I've got brother John, so
So yeah. I try to make 6 days a week. Now in the summer I want to work as much as possible. Because in the winter it's a bit less. And I work even the same amount, but I don't run as the next client. And so yeah, but I want to take that place, that time. I have big plans. I want to drive this motorbike around the world. Already.
With little backpack on the side.
Yeah. It is really, I was, normally I was prepared 5 years ago. And then when I already made my motorbike, I gave my house for rent. And then came home and destroyed my whole plan. And now looks like that in 2 years I can start. So that is good, I can start self-service.
Nice to have something to look forward to.
So I thought never I would start, but now I'm good.
Did you have COVID very bad?
To be honest, I lived around 2 decades in Germany at that time. And I changed to Portugal because I gave already my house for rent. And there came a family, and I wanted to put a family out. So why I came to my country, I have a house far away in the small villages. And then I lived there a year. This is a small village, only 300 people. There's 3 coffees. One I visited in the morning. One in the afternoon for eating, and they gave me instantly a half liter of wine, and I get that for my big lunch. And in the evening, there's nothing else. I go to the last one, and then I drink a beer. And yeah, I make it 1 year, and then I said, okay, now it's enough. And now I don't drink that much because the year of that.
We were shouting, we were allowed to go out for walk every day. Tonight, I live on my own.
With the walking, I have special experience in the village.
Yeah.
So I came there in time of the COVID. Normally nobody could move, but because I'm Portuguese, I could enter in the car. I can, so I come in the car, then I go to the village, and then what do you do now? So because you cannot start your world tour, you are locked. Then I thought, okay, I have a little bit of rage, so let me talk to it. So, but the next day was market, so then I go to the market. So once a week I go there, and there was a woman who looked at me and said, "What you doing here?" And I said, "I'm Portuguese, I can and now I'm here." And then the next day I want to go my rounds, so I wake in the morning, but it's not that hard. It was 5 in the morning, and I didn't walk. And made the way, in the middle of the way, it was the same woman, I don't know what to do in the morning.
Following you.
And then he's screaming again, "What you doing here?" I said, I try to walk a bit, because I think you can see I need a little bit. Ah, you want to lose the weight? It's also not easy. So, yeah, more or less. And then, so I succeed. And because the village is so small, after 20 minutes, I'm again on the same place. And the woman was still there. And screaming again to me, "You was already here!" Oh man, and so it was every time when she saw me, scream to me, and the most stupid was what her was because, and then I said, so after 2 years, I began to think over it. Why did you say something about that? That was the next market. I saw her. He's screaming again to me. I said, "You lady, sorry. Every time when you see me, you're screaming to me, and I'm feeling not comfortable by that situation." And since then, he don't talk to me. Not even in the morning.
Oh, that's true now.
You know, some people are like that. So I think people don't accept from other views, and they are also never know. That's why they just close down and they will stay like they are. Like Bolivia,
If you need a step, I can provide you a step. We will see the castle, like the viewpoint. We don't have access to the classes.
Okay, welcome.
Do you know something about Portugal? About
You need the expansion? I bring it.
was
Here we are. You need also one? Oh, there's just around your, just around here. So you need also one? Lovely. If you want to.
Yes. So be more flexible in case of another earthquake. New buildings can resist.
Yes.
Then right now they're not needed, but when they were constructed under Portugal,
Just allowed like the first day, right? So can you please look a bit watch? Because I couldn't see because of the sun. Yes. Okay. So if you want to push it, you push it more tight. And then just here.
that's my father's and grandfather's generation.
Like that? So maybe I can guess you're also from England, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I already said to ladies here. The English people are my most liked there.
Really?
Except when you got the Germans, when they were like that
Yeah, I lived very long in Germany. That's why I have no problem with Germany.
Yeah.
So, because we have an old relationship, it begins really in the beginning our nation and fighting against the Moorish. The biggest amount of invaders came from England. Why? Our castle that we took over from the Moors, we named after English king, George I. And it's called Saint George. So, and then there's a little thing happened about the Templar Knights. The Templar Knights was the convent to protect the holy site in the Middle East and even Europe. And there was the only one who had the permission to landmark in the Middle East. You can get, if you are the only bank, you get rich very soon. So, and that noticed also a king, the king of France. He begins to land a lot of money. And then one day he wanted to have more money, and Templar Knights say, "We will have now enough." Then the king of France go to the Pope and said they are praying to the devil. You can guess in the Middle Ages. So a lot of side killed them, a lot of side pushed them away. So when they flee, a lot of them came to Portugal. And it was 1307. And the Portuguese, of course, we are now Catholic, and back then also, we have somehow followed the Pope. But we make it different. We just loosen the convent of the Templar Knights and open a new one, the convent of Christus, and put the same people from there to there, making the same things. So, and even the sign of the Templar Knights, that is a red cross with thicker endings. And when they change it to the Christian convent, they put it white cross. 10 years later, we make our navy. And this is the oldest navy in the world, the Portuguese navy. And then England struggled with France because they want to come over. And the Portuguese navy came to protect England. And then various times the English help us, because then the French, the Castilians, which became later Spanish, joined together and want to fight against the Portuguese. And then the English help us with a very famous longbow knights. And we had no army, but even though there was a double and was professional army, we fighting and win. And there was a woman, a big one, because we have no army at that time. The only professional was the English longbows. There was a woman, a bakery woman, with 6 fingers. And the Spanish and the French began to flee. She took her bakery shopping. It's very long, maybe. And she killed 7 soldiers by fleeing. Maybe you will have 6 fingers. That is not usual. But the thing is, that is very common misbuilding. It's the second most common misbuilding. The first misbuilding is the open mouth. And 6 fingers, sometimes in one hand, sometimes with bones, sometimes without. They cut it normally after doing nowadays. Back then, so it is. I was also surprised when I heard first this story. So we protect the English against the French. Then you help us against the Castilians. And so a few decades later, we make it to an alliance. 1384, the oldest alliance countries is in between. Portugal and England. So there's nothing is older than this. It's still in so the video of it. So that's why I like to show my English guests a bit of history, to understand what is about Portugal. And I can mention right now how we was the big fighter for the Christianity. At first, even in the building, our nation fight against the Moors, and then we spread the Christianity all over the world. For the time for the Renaissance, that was kind of because we begin, even because we was this small nation. Now we are a small nation, only 10 million. Back then, before we began to discover the world, we had just 1 million. To get it prepared at the same time, England had 14 million. So the ratio was even bigger than before. So how Portugal can make that happen? The answer is we invented the navigation. So you go home and you say, oh, the Portuguese invented navigation. And surely someone say, but the Vikings was before on the sea. Yeah, the Vikings were before on the sea. Maybe you found also America. The problem is they just sail from coastline to coastline. So when they found the island, they go around the island to find the next coastline. And they never know where it really was. They cannot make. Okay, just a second. So my boss is there, so then they go earlier. So it was yeah.
You did all this when I was a child at school. It was a famous one.
So he was just 1 million, so we got the navigation. So the Vikings didn't knew where they were. So they know where again. So then maybe next, maybe he was it's about maps. The Romans, they painted maps. Romans painted maps. And the Romans, the maps of the Romans look like railway maps, just straight lines. So they founded the place by the rivers, and when they go land inwards from the rivers, they have to build a street. The street is their navigation. Without street, they never find something. So, and that's why never they expand to the side, only by the side, the cities, where they built often by themselves. So, but the Romans, they have measurement instrument. And with this measurement instrument, they can make perfect straight lines with. But they don't can measure curves. That's why they want to cut rather a little mountain in half, put the street in through, to go around. So, not because they want to be the best, no, because they don't put it to make it different. So, and even the houses was straight line, perfect, like it. So, these three measurement instruments that the Romans used, the Portuguese take, and make a map of the stars. Because I noticed that the stars are every place on the world different. So, and then they put the same measurement instrument upside down to the stars. There's a lot more mathematics you can notice where you are. So the first navigator, nowadays they are the right hand of the captain. Back then they have only to calculate the whole thing. So there's so and the first navigators were the captains. Not the captains are the navigators. The navigator was the navigator, and he was in the school of mathematics. So then you can guess if you are small or big, it's so different when you are alone on the ocean. So then we discover at that time 70% So they go also to the sea. It was fine. The English came also. By the rest, it was a bit difficult because mostly in French we have also like the English. We have a bad relation with the French, with the Castilians, which became later Spanish. And that's why it could be that we are on the sea and then we are surrounded by other nations, maybe they are enemies to us, or want to have our place. So we have to build our ships different than the others. Even different than the English because we are not that superpower. So that's why at first the ships were big than the others too, it was 3 or 4 masts. But the Portuguese, they built 2 masts with 300 sails. Now, people who don't sail don't understand what is about 300 sails. Only with 300 sails you can sail against the wind, the zigzag. So, that is not the common way to sail. You want always to have the wind behind you. Even you choose the route to have the wind behind you. For example, if you want to go to South Africa, you just face it first Brazil. And about 50 kilometers before, you go then to the south, and then you have wind again. And then you are much faster than to go against the wind. But even for that, so the others just have 1 mast of 300 sails. For the time on the harbor, maybe they have to sail against the wind. And we have 2 because when we are surrounded by enemies on sea, we turn our ship against the wind. And because we have 2, we are faster and we can escape slowly. But there's a problem. You can guess. Take a long time to turn around a ship like that. So in that time the others could shoot me. That's why the Portuguese on that special kind of ship, which is called the Now, they have also different kind of cannons. At first they are small. And then on the back side they have a big one. And they have a metal jar. In the metal jar they could prepare the powder and the cannonball. So they can put the jar in the cannon, shoot, change it to the next one who's already filled by a bullet, and shoot again. So you shoot much often. Because the other have to push the cannon back. Put the powder, press the powder, put the cannonball inside, put again in front, and then can shoot. And so you turn slowly against the wind, shoot next to them, and the people go away. Or maybe we'll say, if they have something like a machine gun, why they use it not always? These cannons have a big problem. You cannot shoot nothing. Sometimes, casually, found something, but the thing is, because we are just a family, we are always avoiding it. Sometimes we have to go to war because we get attacked, and even for that, mostly you win. I didn't prove that statistic, but it is saying that Portugal just lost 1 war, and it was in Belgium in the First World War, because the Germans want to take the Belgium part and overrun our army completely. So of course there's some of them know, but you know. So, but I have to prove that information, because a lot of Portuguese, they make it more great than it is. Even we have a big history, we have so many great things, they make it even bigger than it is. So, that's why I have to prove. But I know that the English was also one of the countries who don't lose that often. So, now you know, we are very simple by what we do. But we are also some kind of heritage. Okay, to be honest, not really with the English itself. We talk about now about Celtic. So there was original Celtic tribe from the north who settled nowadays in between Galicia and Asturias, which is Spain. And this tribe merged with the Latin language and make our Portuguese language. So the Portuguese was built there. The kingdom at that time called Leon. And there was a queen. And now we look to the sun. The sun fighting against the Moors, and then he arrived in the city of Porto, which is nowadays in northern Portugal. And then he decided to build his own country. And now we would say, why? He will get the whole country. Why he split that his country and make his own country? I have the Romans mentioned that the Lusitanians lived in between the two big groups. One is here, and the other ends in Rome. And the Lusitanians was the tribe where the Romans fight the longest. So, and by excavation we found Celtic artifacts where the Lusitanians were. So we believe that there was not really origin Celtic. If they are somehow Celtic, then from the founding of the Celtic, which started in Middle Europe and then split to the north, to the British Island, and keep their most original one in Ireland and Scotland and Wales, and also expand to West Europe, to Portugal and Spain. There is the Ibero-Celtics and the Lusitanians. Lusitanians have, because they have these artifacts like the Celtic, we don't really know. But there's also the Iberians who lived in the south of this peninsula. There we know surely that there was none. So the king, this new king, arrived to Porto, and maybe he noticed there's a tribe, he's kind of the tribe. He knows in his skin. And maybe his idea was to join the Celtic with the Celtic. The Celtic in that time maybe was more original than today. But so he came there, and how they named the country? They named after the city, because the old name of Porto was Portus Cale. Portus is Latin harbor, and Cale, there's a lot of theories, but I think the most likely to fit in my theory is Celtic, and it means mountain. And the Porto city of Porto, in the original state, it was on two mountains. It makes also sense that it had this name. And also, mountain in Gaelic in Ireland is Gaelic, and not Cal. And that became from Portus Cale, Portugal. It became the name. So, but we are still the heritage from the Lusitanians, and our language came more or less from the Nordic Celtic joined with Latin. That's different. Even when I hear the Gaelish from Ireland, they have a smooth ending like we call it there. There's a lot of signs to fit in that way, and that's why I believe that like that. Even now, there are people in northwest Spain, the Galicians, they don't speak Spanish, they speak Gaelic. And when a politician came to the European Parliament from that side, they didn't choose the Spanish language for translating, they choose Portuguese, because they understand it much better. So, and now we have more or less what is Portugal about. So, when we don't start, don't worry, I can talk more. So you like it interesting? Interesting? So yeah, we are, and then it's good to have a bit more time. And then we have one day, All Saints Day, the 1st November, 1755. We had a big earthquake here, and behind the downtown is the middle. That is more or less Alfama, and behind there is Bairro Alto, uptown. And there lives the richer people. had carpet on the wall, carpet on the floor, and oil lamps falling down against the bird. The richer people flee downtown in front of the palace of the kings, and then came a tsunami. So we was the first who began the Renaissance, and it also started here, the changing from the Renaissance to the New Age. The people writing all over Europe, why this country, who fighting for the Christianity, was so small, give the Christianity all over the world, even in the beginning fighting against the Polish. Why it get punished by God? Because that was the thinking of the Renaissance, that was fundamentalist. And then the world changed. The world is compared to Europe, it's the same at the time. So the democratization of Europe started. The Napoleon War started. Even the United States was founded after. So the world changed. Because the people think, okay, that is not all about God. Maybe. And maybe they didn't understand what God wants. So, and that's why the people think by themselves so much more. So, we see Portugal was the turning point of two time age changes. And our king at that time was José I, was just 5 years on charge. Have the big heritage of the discoverers of the big kings, and then he have also the feeling he get punished by God. He did something wrong. That's why he found in deep sadness. So the historians say. And they go to his palace in Central, about 30 kilometers. Put himself inside, stay there the rest of his life. His only two last sentence was to Marquês de Pombal, bury the dead, and give care of the survivors. So it looks like this. And why it is important? Because even the city is shaped that way. We will pass the downtown. You will see it looks like a little bit like old New York. Straight line streets. The house rows look like the same size. And of course the facade is a big change. But by the rest it looks always a little bit like the same. And then we will go to the Alfama, which is the oldest part. We go down the river up, and then I'll show you the views. If you don't start it, I do something.
You're all following?
Yeah, I'm the third one, because he is new. He came out second. It's easier for him. Okay, that's it. How are you doing? Everything okay?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Oh, great. It's green.
They're safe
Green.
there with me.
Sorry.
You're talking to him, don't distract him.
So, Alfama, which we passed a bit now, we come about back. That is the oldest part of Lisbon. And the name came from the Arabic. It means a lot of water, a lot of water fountains. And we will pass one of the thermal water fountains. It will appear on my right side after the titled house. And when you look at the water fountain is down, but there's also very good building, very nice building on the top of it. So now I need your help a little bit. You see this house rows on the right side, and you see now a titled house, and after the titled house is a White House, right? And after the White House is another White House. These look further. And then you see the change the colors, and on the end you will see a house with peaks on the wall. You see it? Yellow, red, green, and the house with peaks. You see it? So the house with peaks, we call it just house with peaks because there are peaks on the wall. That is the Museum of Saramago, a Nobel Prize winner of literature of the Phoenicians. And maybe you can guess, the Phoenicians, that even mentioned in the Bible. And it was a tribe who fighting against the ancient Egypts. So there's again the house with peaks, you see? Even the roof is with peaks. So the stones are dated on the year 1200 before Christus. That means that Lisbon is older than 3,000 years. So we are now in downtown, And look please on my right side, there's a yellow building. After the yellow building is a church called the Nossa Conceição Velha. And this church is important because after the tsunami, they're searching for the stones all over the city to put it again together to make the front. And why? Because our most famous discoverer, Vasco da Gama, prayed there before he go to the sea. So just go to the streets. Oh, estragas a minha culpa. called the Muradia. That is the part where the most important Fadistas live. They live more or less all on that spot, at least for the Fadistas from Lisbon. Fadistas are the people who sing the fado music. And the fado is a Portuguese folk music, which is like a singing philosophy about facts of life. Now we come to, in a few seconds, we come to the Church of Grace, Igreja de Graça. And the Igreja de Graça are linked to a convent. We talked about already the convent of Christus. The church itself is not very important because it's from the 16th century, but at least you will see the front side of the convent of Christus. When we go around it, you can go not completely around it, but you can see it a bit from far, because it looks like a little castle. So the Church of Grace, Igreja de Graça, is on my left side. There you see, after the church, a house looks like a little castle, right? Yeah. That is the convent of Christus. Before, the Templar Knights were the protector of the holy sites, and then as the Christus convent, they started our navy and fight also against the Moorish people to form our country. People like now it's getting better. to the left, there's a modern art. It is now in front of me. And when I turn to the left, you have the chance to look the streets down that is on a wall of a building. Ay, ay, ay. There's a big truck, you cannot see it, sorry. That is down there. Maybe you'll see it for a second. So, there was a woman with a gun in the hand, and in the gun a carnation flower. That is related to our revolution 1974 against our dictator. And who bring us the freedom was the army. And the army, the captains, the sergeants, the generals stick together and combine. When they have a special music in the radio, they will start to march to Lisbon. So, and this song was about brotherhood and freedom. And it was a march. So, there was on the same time, when the music's playing in the radio, was a woman, she wanted to open a second restaurant. And she bought the flowers of April. And it is the carnation flower. And so she heard the music in the radio, and she could guess something will change. So he goes on the street, saw the soldiers passing by, and then she begins to give every soldier a carnation flower. And the soldiers put the carnation flower into their guns for showing the people that don't want to shoot to the people. Sim, Axel, que é isso?
Venha ali botar o meu colega aqui no lugar. Venha ali direito, está bem? Só um bocadinho. Passa a palavra, pode já fazer uma manobra, exatamente. Ele assim passa. Chega um bocadinho à frente. Vale? Olha, põe em frente que é para a carrinha estacionar, está bem?
Aqui?
Ponha mesmo em frente ao meu colega. Onde ele está?
Onde ele está? Sim.
Sim, aqui do lado esquerdo vai para uma carrinha, está bem? Obrigado.
Olha lá, bom dia. So, it's time to go off. I will bring you a step. Okay. So I have a bigger step. So if you need my hand. Maybe you can make it better like that. I don't know. Yeah? Or okay.
I'll sit down on this bathroom. Thank you.
There we are.
I've had lots of replacements during
Just slowly take your time. Great.
Thank you.
So there's a little church here. The little church was the only mosque who survived the attacks by the Crusaders. And then there was changes to the church. The Muslims left a shed built into the wall in the corner of this building. And there's a saying, if a pregnant woman sitting there, get a good pregnancy. Our first queen, by the way, she was pregnant. She get pregnant. Sitting there, get a good pregnancy. At least once works. So, Just enjoy the very nice view.
Thank you.
C'est Tuk-Tuk.
I think about 5 minutes.
Take another 5 to get back on.
Anyways, we are the last, so we can come when we want.
Não é que aqui já foi descoberto que o Google não encontra só isso, o Google pode o hotel pode, o resto como é que é? Quando estão férias, todos cumpridos. E a primeira oportunidade pode tirar o final desse curso para em cima da mesa, porque você pode estar na conversa e já era.